So again, I'm Jackie Elmer. Thanks so much for being on today's training call where we're going to talk about routines, systems, and planning for 2020 so that you could really maximize your success and achieve what it is that you actually want. Now, I mentioned success leaves clues, and I'm going to share with you those routines, those systems, and those progresses that ultimately will create success for you when you commit to them and you stay very focused and you stay consistent. So the very first thing that I wanted to start with is something that I do every morning, and that is my thought download. So part of my morning routine consists of a few specific things, which I'll be interspersing as I go through here to share exactly what it is that I focus on. But the very first thing that I get up and do every day is a thought download. Okay, I set my timer for 5 minutes and I write. Now, I want to really stress this. Writing it down versus typing it or putting it into an app or anything like that. It's the writing down process of it that really is critical ultimately to your success. And the reason for that is because there's something psychological about writing it that also imprints it in your mind in a way that typing doesn't. So I really want to encourage you, get a notebook. I like to use this small notebook because it fits right in my purse, it fits in my backpack, my briefcase, whatever, and I can take it with me, and I do very often during the day because sometimes I will do more than one thought download in a day. What this does, just free flow writing for 5 minutes, get stuff out of my head and it gets it onto paper where I can release it, and then I can begin to go back through and look at it, read through it, evaluate it, and prioritize things and really focus on getting tasks done, being effective, and being productive. So what I do is at least once a week, I go back through and I'll read through what I wrote for the last week, and I begin to look for patterns. From those patterns, I can begin to see those things that I need to get done. And from there, I have a large notebook that I do a lot of my to-do list in. So I'll go back through and I'll see, what is that thing, what is that topic that keeps coming up for me that I need to pay attention to? Now, I've done a lot of shifting and changing. 2019 has definitely been a year of growth for me in so many different ways, figuring out my next steps in my business, who my ideal clients are, programs and coaching products and different things that I want to put out there into the world and getting those written down. And if you know me, you know that I basically am operating off of 3 different websites and blogs right now. I've got JackieElmer.com, which I'm basically turning into a resume style site. I'm not going to get rid of all the content that's on there. There's nearly 600 podcasts that are stored on there. I'm not moving all of it over, but I'm creating it more as a resume resource page that from there you can get to my other areas. StreetSmartWealth.com was my original site. I still absolutely love that name. It's actually the name of my corporation, and I really like focusing on that. So a lot of my blogging now and my podcasts will be hosted over there. And then I have theconfidencecatalyst.com because I'm really focusing on my coaching practice of helping people move past those fears and those limiting beliefs that stop them in life and certainly in business. So what I really needed to do, I knew one of the things that was really stopping me and an ongoing thought download that I was having was getting everything pulled together so that if they went to JackieElmer.com, they weren't confused about what I was offering. If they went to StreetSmartWealth.com, they weren't confused. And if I sent them to theconfidencecatalyst.com, they could figure out things from there too and have it all tied back together, because my brand really is to create, programs and products and coaching and services to help people let go of those limiting beliefs and have the success that they want in life and in business. Whether that's social media, whether it's network marketing, whether it's life coaches, real estate agents, whatever it is, that group, everything that I offer will serve anybody because the programs are the same really and truly no matter what. It doesn't matter what you're marketing, what you're selling, or the type of transformation you're trying to create. All of my products and programs fit into all of those buckets. So I had to sit and make out a list based on my thought download. What did I need to do at theconfidencecatalyst.com to get those pages ready? What do I need to do over at JackieElmer.com to get those pages ready? And then once it was written down, I could start going through and checking off the boxes and just getting it done. The challenge that we have so often when we start putting together routines and we start putting together systems is that we get bogged down in the process of how to put all of that together. We get over analytical, and we try to factor in like what needs to be done on this and what needs to be done on that, and how do we pull all of that together. And the reality of it is you just got to start, and that's where your morning routine of doing a thought download, and in the beginning, do it 3 times a day. Do it morning, noon, and night. And again, just free flow for 5 minutes and write down anything. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. It doesn't have to be in any type of order. It doesn't have to be specific to business, because let's face it, I've gotten rid of the word balance, and now my word is harmony, creating harmony between your life, your relationships, and your business, because all of them come together to create what it is that we want. So this part of my morning routine is absolutely imperative. The next thing I mentioned in the email announcing this, and if you followed me, you know that I have 5 primary content buckets, 5 primary values and priorities that I run my life around, and those are my 5 favorite F words. And those are faith, family and friends, that's one, lumped together because that's relationships, fun, fitness, and finance. And everything that I do in my life and all of my values and priorities fall into one of those 5 buckets. So it makes it very easy for me to focus on the things that matter in my life, focus on the things that matter in my business, and make sure that I also have a content plan for my marketing and social media, because those things are key to moving the financial side of my 5 F words forward. So I made some notes here just to share with you a little bit. Oh, my dog wants to say hello. Just to share with you a little bit about how all of those factor in. So starting with faith, faith incorporates a bunch of different things. So certainly there's faith in God, faith in a higher power, faith in those type things from a spiritual perspective. It's also faith and belief in myself, belief in my abilities, belief in my gut and my intuition, belief that the programs and different things that I'm putting out there to serve the world are of value. So faith incorporates a lot of different things, and having that unwavering faith and belief that if you're following systems, you're following a routine, and you know you're creating value and putting integrity out there in the world, you're going to accomplish and create what it is that you want. So that's faith. And that's a part of my morning routine as well, because in addition to my thought download, I journal nearly every single day, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening, sometimes both, just to, again, get those thoughts, those feelings, my gratitude practice, things that I'm venting over, whatever it is, I can put those in my journal. And again, there's something about getting it out of your head, out of your heart, and onto paper that allows you to process it, go through things, and create a huge difference in your life, and release yourself from some of those limiting beliefs and the struggles that we have. So that's a big part of my morning routine and my faith journey too, is my journal. All right, the next F bucket is family and friends. And that is, of course, my highest value, my highest priority is making sure that I'm serving the relationships that matter to me in the most important way that I can. So, starting with my husband, number 1 on the priority list, always making sure I have a little note on my whiteboard above my computer that says, how are you showing up today? And making sure that I'm being very intentional in those relationships that matter with me. My coaching clients as well, my tribe, the rest of my family, extended family and friends, but making sure every day that I'm checking in on that and I'm showing up as my highest self for who and how I want to be. The third one is fun. And one of my goals and my values is fun. I want to make everything that I do fun. So if I'm journaling or focusing on my faith or gratitude, I want to find a way to make all of that fun. Maybe it's while I'm out hiking or walking and focusing on that and enjoying myself. Fun with my family and friends. Fun in fitness and fun in my business as well. So fun incorporates into all of that as well. I love humor. I love having a good time. And so fun is an easy one to incorporate into those buckets. All right, the next one, fitness. Fitness is a huge category in and of itself because it's not just working out, it's not just health and wellness, although those are very important to me, but it's also fitness in my faith, fitness in my relationships with family and friends, fitness in my finances and how I'm running my business, so fitness overall. But focusing on the health and wellness aspect of it, I realize that as an entrepreneur, it's very important that we take care of ourselves so that we operate with peak performance. Peak performance is very, very important. So staying healthy, staying fit, staying fit for longevity, that's really important to me as I get older and, go through midlife and those type things. I want to make sure that I am performing at the peak level that I possibly can, so that I continue to put good stuff out there in the world as I can. And I have no intention of retiring anytime soon. So again, I want to make sure that I'm doing that. So what are those high functioning habits that have to make up my life to be a peak performer? Well, speaking of fitness, you've heard me talk before about my commitment to 10,000, an average of 10,000 steps a day. That's always a goal. Always working on that consistency chain with that. Then from there, it's working out with weights or some type, working my muscle groups for 15 to 30 minutes a day, at least 5 days a week. Okay, I like to get in 2 days of rest, and occasionally I push myself beyond that because I really, truly do enjoy the process of that. So it's making sure that I'm toning and sculpting and working those muscles so that they don't atrophy and, all those different things, so that I really stay in that peak performance. And then it's important to me to look good and feel confident about those areas of my body. And then food is fuel, really and truly. I do intermittent fasting. I do my own brand of bulletproof coffee, which I call Fat Blaster Brain Booster Coffee. And I love enjoying that every day, and it really fuels my body. I believe it creates higher cognitive performance for me, and I've gotten rid of a lot of the brain fog and different things that can go on when we don't eat properly, when we don't get enough healthy fat into our system, and all of that. So that's a whole nother topic. But those are things that are important to me in terms of fitness. So, working out, fueling my body, getting as much sleep as I can, and then focusing on being fit so that I can perform at the highest level in my business. And then finance, that's my business, everything that makes up my business. And I have it down at the bottom of my 5 priorities. And really, I don't have any of those in any specific form or any specific format, but that just seems to work for me in the flow of things, of how I like to prioritize, because I know if I'm taking care of the other areas of my life and showing up first for those, I will find the time, I will make the time, I will make the resources, I will do all the things that I need to do in my financial world, which is my business. Now, it's interesting. Vision is a huge part of it, and having a strong vision and clarity around your business is huge. My theme upcoming for January is clarity. So we're going to be doing a lot of coaching and training on really what that means, what it is you need to get clarity on in your business. It's so very important. Now, there's basically 3 areas of focus for me in my business, and I did make some notes because I wanted to make sure that I hit on it. And that is my programs and products. What is it that I'm actually selling? Okay, I've got to have those created. I've got to have those out there so that I can make sales. My marketing efforts, okay, because the greatest product, program, or opportunity in the world is worth nothing if we're not actually out there marketing it on a regular basis, and then follow up. Those 3 key areas, and then of course, following all of that up with consistency. So how do we do all that? Well, the first thing that we really want to do is create, market, and close sales. Okay, create the content or the information to get out there, whether you're online or offline, it doesn't really matter. You create the content, you know what it is you're selling. Again, going back to clarity, that's one of the things that I'll be doing a call on is, what are you selling? What is it that you're actually selling? It's not a widget, it's a solution, and it's so important that you get clear on that so that you can communicate that very effectively to your tribe and they buy into what it is that you're sharing with them. That's so very important. They have to get it. They have to understand the value. They have to understand what it is so that you can get the buy-in and they sell themselves. Okay, that's very, very important. All right, so once you've created that, you know what it is you're selling, you've got to be out there marketing it, whether it's online or offline. Offline, networking groups, Business Network International, BNI, Chamber of Commerce. I live in Phoenix. I could probably go to 4 different networking events a day all around the valley. So there's no shortage of opportunity for me to get myself out there. If you live in a smaller community, which I did for 12 years, with only one networking event a month in my small community up in Lake Arrowhead, California, when I lived up there, that's when I really mastered online marketing. And for nearly 12 years, I really didn't leave my home to build my business. I did all of it through making connections, marketing, and building relationships through the internet. So the online piece of it is you have to understand what is it you're creating in terms of marketing. What is that content strategy that you're going to have? Now, I mentioned my theme for January, and that's another thing, and I am very much an old school girl. I took a calendar, January of 2020, and I went through and I set a theme for each of the 12 months. That helps me know what it is I'm going to focus on. If I'm speaking at a BNI group, how can I incorporate clarity for January into my commercial? If I'm doing a blog post, my podcast, my Facebook Live training, YouTube videos, whatever it is that I'm creating content around, and my daily sharing, what can I do that incorporates clarity into that so that my messaging begins to build a pattern and it builds a pattern of momentum, okay? That's how we ultimately get to sales. I mentioned the content creation, the marketing of it, and then of course, closing and doing the authentic selling and what we do. And so many people struggle with that. If you're part of Street Smart Wealth Academy, I have a whole program to teach you authentic selling, how to take people through the sales process authentically. So again, they sell themselves. You almost can create a 100% sale when you really do it right, when you get clear on what their need is and the solution that you're selling, and make them see very clearly how you can be the right fit for them based on what you're selling. So that's a big part of it. And having that marketing calendar is huge, and it helps you when you have those routines and those systems and processes in place. So that's where scheduling the time with your calendar, another one of my favorite tools, scheduling that time with your calendar allows you to sit down and create what that plan is going to be so that you know every day, every week, every month, throughout the entire year what it is that you're focused on, and you can easily create that marketing content and make your message very streamlined, show up consistently, and create that slight edge mentality that makes things happen. If I've learned anything over 2019, it's this: consistency sells. Consistency is what will make you a top performer, top earner, and get you where you want to be in your business. And when you just incorporate those slight edge practices of showing up every day consistently, having a plan so that you know what you're showing up with, so that it's established, it's part of a routine, and it makes sense to your audience and begins to build that tribe of followers. Those are two things that will absolutely serve you every single time. It's not the smartest person, it's not the fastest person, it's not the sleekest person, it's not the thinnest, the tallest, it's not the most beautiful, it's not any of that. It's the person that shows up the most consistently and uses those slight edge principles and knows what their messaging is so that they can communicate that clearly. Okay, you don't have to have the most brilliant message. You just have to be able to communicate that authentically and effectively to your audience. Okay, I mentioned the monthly themes. From there, you can create your monthly calendar, okay, that's going to keep things consistent. So that's a big part of it. And then I like to do Sunday planning. So every Sunday afternoon, around 2-ish in the afternoon, I sit down with my marketing theme calendar, and I sit down and I look and see, what do I need to be marketing? What needs to be set up for my Facebook business page? What am I going to be sharing on my Facebook personal page? What YouTube videos am I creating? What am I doing on my podcast? What am I putting out on LinkedIn? Okay, it sounds overwhelming when you don't have a system, when you don't have that routine in place, but when you will schedule the time to sit down with a calendar and get something on it so that you're set to market, you're going to show up brilliantly and you're going to be confident. And over time, even in the beginning, if you start out scared to death, most of us do, as you stay consistent and you work through being bad to be good to be great. You're going to develop that confidence. You're going to figure out your plan exactly. You're going to attract your tribe. You're going to attract that audience, and people are going to begin to follow you, and they're going to begin to buy from you because you have attracted them to you and you've become attractive to them. So that's a big, important part of it. So those are some ideas. Start with that morning routine, that thought download, okay? Really 5 minutes, set a timer, free flow your writing, just write down anything that comes to mind. If it's a vent or a rant, that's fine. Focus as much on the negative as the positive. I know we're supposed to always focus on the positive, but let's face it, when we can get that negativity out of us and get it down on paper, and we can begin to look through it, sort through it, and prioritize on a regular basis, what are those things that I'm downloading my thoughts around that I want to take action on right away? You will find that when you do this, many of the things that you write down on there take care of themselves naturally. There's something about getting it out of your head, out of your heart, onto paper that allow you to process it much more easily and take care of it. So do that. Make sure you're doing your journaling with a gratitude practice for sure. That's part of a morning routine. One of the other things that I ask myself every day before I start the thought download, is, what is it that I desire to know today? What is going to make me most effective today? And I really let the universe download those thoughts into me, and it always shows up in what I write out in my thought download book. So those are the things. Make sure you're weighing in every day on your marketing calendar and what you've created for those themes so that you know what you're doing. But don't wait till the day of. At least schedule everything the day before. But if you'll do that Sunday planning, you will find that it will be super effective for you. So it's getting your routine down. When are you going to do specific things? It's getting those systems in place so that you know, for instance, I'm doing this video. This video will go on Facebook. This video will go on YouTube. I'll download the audio from it. It will be part of my podcast. And now I have marketing content that I can use over and over and over again. And even though I'm focused on closing out 2019 and preparing for 2020, this is still basically evergreen content, because the routines and systems and the things that we do to be successful never go out of style. So it stays evergreen. So that's part of your content process too. You want to be thinking, what can I put out there that I can use over and over again in my marketing strategy? We cover that in the Street Smart Wealth Academy as well. So it gets you set up to be effective in the least amount of time, but the most productive and effective as you put things out there. Okay, so a couple of other things coming up. Next week, our training is going to be on how to create your focus word for 2020. I'll talk a little bit about my focus word, which was practicing mastery. No, I'm sorry, it was the reverse. Mastering practice was my focus word, and I'm going to explain why it's reversed, what I learned from it, and how it has served me throughout the year, and how I'm going about choosing my focus word for 2020. Then we'll be covering, the following week, we'll be covering how to do a year in review, how to really close out 2019, how to button up all the loose ends and things that you may have going on out there, and to really prepare to catapult yourself into 2020 in a very effective way. Now, if you don't have my new confidence video series, go to confidencedecoded.com. confidencedecoded.com. Get my free video series on building confidence, which is letting go of comparanoia, getting out of imposter syndrome, letting go of other people's opinions, and learning how to master your thoughts so that you create the results that you want in your life and in your business. All right, thanks so much. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I would love to get those answered, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week on the next show. Make it a great day.